moving, got to keep on moving on, keep going on, got to keep on moving on.
All can make it
in life,
you got to get focused,
keep on moving,
sky is the limit.
You got to get there, keep moving, keep marching on.
You can make it
in life,
you got to get focused,
keep on moving,
sky is the limit.
You got to get there, keep moving, keep marching on.
Keep on moving,
Keep moving, keep marching on.
It is right about that time of the week where we shift our focus on matters concerning persons with disabilities. In the world and in Kenya, there are certain days or months set aside on creating awareness on conditions affecting the human race.
September is the month when muscular dystrophy awareness is placed on top gear, and that is why today we are going to focus on that condition. Welcome to the show Able Differently, a program where we take charge. I am John Morioki.
And me, Jacqueline Kemani. Welcome.
Keep moving, keep marching on.
Let's to speed about muscular dystrophy condition and how best it can be handled.
Duchenne muscular dystrophy is an inherited disorder of progressive muscular weakness, typically in boys, and although treatment can help, the condition cannot be cured. Scholar is the chairperson of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy Foundation Kenya. Her participation in this noble cause of creating awareness of the condition is not by chance, but because she has a son with the condition as well.
We went to Lancet, did some tests which he had requested us to do. When we brought these tests back to the hospital, actually told us that is the thing which I was thinking about. And this condition is called DMD, Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. It's like the progressive weakening of muscles, which by the age of this time, the boy was on wheelchair, many things. I went to Dr. Google to get more information. Dr. Google wrote it in black and white. We didn't talk, it was in black and white. That this is a situation, it affects one boy out of 3,600 to 5,000. It's a long-term, kind of a condition. It's genetic. It comes from a mother to a boy. Those stories. I was like, do I have an issue, a problem that I'll pass on to my boy? But that's a lot of science, which I was able to comprehend after some time.
The foundation, which is still taking its first baby steps, was for the first time holding an inclusive meeting where parents and their children were in attendance. Viona Talam, a parent in attendance, shared her story.
When my son was diagnosed with DMD, that was way back when he was only 4 years old, he started falling down. Like the way you say, the boy just falls down. You don't know what has happened. He starts getting weakness, he's irritable. But when I took him to the doctor, I don't come from Nairobi. That time I was working in Kericho. We had a company doctor. So who looked at him and checked and said, there's something queer which I am not understanding. So I am sending you to Nairobi Hospital to go and check, to go and see a neurologist. When we came to Nairobi Hospital, I remember I was with my sister that time. So when they tested the CPK, they were way up, 7,000. And I was told the news there. I couldn't understand, I couldn't accept, but finally I didn't have a choice. And I was told there's no medicine. So the only medicine I was told is to do physiotherapy.
With each parent sharing their unique stories, Tony, a father and the communications manager at the foundation as well, tells us of the fear he experienced while bringing up his son.
Raymond was diagnosed in 2014, and by that time we didn't even know what was happening. For us, the thing was, undescended testicles, because we noticed the funny, the funny fancy walking style. So we thought that probably there's something wrong with him. I took him to Kijabe the first time that we went there. Then I met a doctor, I can't recall the name. Akaniambia, no, your kid, the problem is an undescended testicles. That's the reason as to why he's not walking properly. So give it time, since he's 3 years old, when mkikuja, mkuje follow up, mwaneke iko sawa. So after going back with him, tukaanza ku notice a more developing thing. Falling down, akiamka inakuwa ni shida, anaumia. And then again, so the right term to use is ni softy sana. When he was pinched, tunasema nasikia uchungu, kidogo tu anasikia uchungu, akilift kitu, he feels like hapana anashindwa. So itakuwa, what is this? Even when we're going to church, tulikuwa tunaambiwa, mtoto wenyewe ana maringo, kwa sababu when before anaonekana vizuri kenye anatembea ana maringo. So we went back to Kijabe, nika encourage her and my mom, because like you really go and know what's wrong with our baby. Going there, akaniambia, it was better the kids. There's doctors who come during the Tuesdays, so that's why one of them told us, hey, this is Duchenne.
Although different, yet similar stories were told to help parents accept and heal in the process. Alice, a parent whose child was diagnosed with DMD, tells us how she learned that the son could not live beyond 20 years, and it broke her heart seeing the husband cry for the first time.
I remember one doctor telling us that that is the condition, and I want you to give your son the best. For the little time that God is giving you with him, give him the best. Now it was the end of us. When we came home, I've never seen my husband cry, but that was the first time I saw his tears. He was really crying, I was crying, all of us were crying because we could not help. We were just looking at him dying. We saw death coming now, after we were told now this is what is happening.
Stephen, a therapist by profession of Feed the Children, was also in attendance and was of great help, educating the parents on how to care for the children suffering from DMD.
I really appreciate for this forum because we are sharing knowledge. We are sharing ideas on how to take care of our children with muscular dystrophy, on how to take care of these children in a much better way, and also just to reach out to those who have not heard about muscular dystrophy.
Patricia Karani of Stepping Stone, on behalf of her organization, was also here not only representing her organization but also share her story.
First one has something called hemihyperplasia, which is where some or part or half or most of your body is bigger than the other. So like you find like in the case of my daughter, it's like two different people were cut in half and joined together. And it has its risks and effects and all that. My second one has something called the 18 chromosome, which is a deformity of the 18th chromosome. As opposed to it being as an arc, it's a ring, so you have some deletions and hence some effects. So those are my kids. My sister-in-law has multiple sclerosis, so then again, as I told you, I'm here on very many hats.
She has committedly worked with children of different disabilities from all walks of life, yet she has none of her own suffering from any.
I have a boy here, but all these boys are impaired. Yes. I can't tell you where the drive comes from, why I studied special needs, but it's something that keeps me going. I look forward to waking up every day and changing somebody's life. It doesn't mean if it's one or it's what, but I want to see change.
In the quote of the day, we look at the saying by William Longwood that goes, dream and dedication, a powerful combination. What do you think?
Very true. The two of them are a powerful combination. If you have the best plans, the best resources, that you have laid out on how to achieve your dreams, then you are unstoppable. But if you have these plans and you do nothing about them, you're not dedicated on how you're going to achieve them, then the dreams will only remain with you. And you know that the dreams that we have are supposed to affect us and also transform the world. So that's my take. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Keep moving, keep marching on. Keep moving, keep marching on.
Welcome back, and you're watching Able Differently, a program like no other. Even though he is visually impaired, Daniel Ogutu has an ear for music, and that is why he chose to be a music producer. It has been an up and down journey, but Ogutu is grateful for everything he has achieved. Take a look.
Daniel Ogutu, commonly known as Dan, is a music producer and a missionary.
I was born roughly 35 years ago. I'm born again. I'm a Christian. I'm a musician, a songwriter, an instrumentalist, a producer, and also by God's grace, I am a missionary.
He was born with full eyesight, but due to medical negligence, he became visually impaired.
I became blind at 13, and during these times I was in primary school. It was a result of medical negligence. Well, it was just like a normal eye problem. So I went to the hospital and the nurse applied the wrong chemical into my eye, and thus made me blind.
It was the darkest moment in his life, both physically and emotionally.
In terms of acceptability, it was a challenge, because sometimes I could forget. You know, rise up like I used to do. At the age of 13, you are a very active boy. Playing the ball, going to fetch firewood. I was coming from I was a village boy, and so running around with goats and cows. Having come from the lakeside, going to swim and doing a bit of fishing. The normal activities of a 13-old, you know. And then drastically, you cannot do it. It took my brain sometimes to be trained to be in this world of sightlessness.
He is grateful to his parents and siblings who stood with him during this denial period.
Of course, my parents and siblings, they were well shocked like myself. But I thank God for my parents, both mother and father. They were the first encouragement to me. My father was a born-again man, and also my mom. My father was a pastor. And so I thank God that he knew the word of God. So he knew something called the will of God in a man's life. So he used to tell me, son, don't worry, we are in the Lord's hands and we are safe there. So let God's will be done. They encouraged me, of course. They wiped away my tears and they gave me hope.
He could no longer fit in the regular institutions and had to be enrolled in a special school up to college, where he joined Daystar University.
I could not go on or continue with the normal schooling system. My parents were to take me to the special school for the blind, sent order to be specific, in Siaya, where I did my primary school and later on joined Thika High School for the blind, after which I joined Daystar University, where I did my college.
It is in this institution that he was able to learn how to cater for himself.
In this institution for the blinds, like the school where you are trained to do everything. Washing your clothes, cleaning the dormitories, cleaning the dishes in the dining hall, and cleaning your classes, moving around. There was that training for mobility and orientation, so that you fit yourself into the society, you find yourself fitting into the society.
He confesses that having any disability is not always a walk in the park.
The way you view yourself, the way you take yourself, the way you conduct yourself. If you conduct yourself in a manner that you are, you are not a bother to them, then you find yourself being you'll be received. The world is not all that unreceptive. We've got good people around. And so sometimes when I move from one place to another, ministering within or even outside the country, of course, the grace of the Lord has been upon me. God favors me with people.
But he is thankful that despite all the challenges, he is a happy man and happily married.
The challenges in marriage, mine is not unique to any other. There are challenges, there are common challenges, You've been seeing all these years, then somebody comes into your life. You have to understand her, and she has to understand you. But I thank God that the Lord has been so gracious. My wife understands me, and she has been very, very, very helpful to me. As a matter of fact, she has changed my life to positivity.
Dan wishes that the government should come in to rescue persons with disabilities, especially in education, where they have to always dig deeper in their pockets to get the services.
These are your people. These are your countrymen. Give them opportunity. Thank God that in Kenya, there's some opportunities like in the political arena. We began doing it, and I thank the government and I thank God for them. The schools, also public schools, which are supported by the government, which again, I'm grateful to them. But it's not enough. It is not enough. 5% is not enough. It can be increased a little bit so that more of us should find themselves into those institutions of the government so that they become important people in the society.
His parting shot:
give them the opportunity to realize themselves and to believe in themselves. Teach them confidence. Let them have confidence in themselves. So it was with my parents. They taught me to believe in myself. They encouraged me. They supported me, and that's why I am today. So when you have a disabled child, it is not a misfortune. Number one, nobody creates a baby. It's God who creates all of us. And as long as she or he is alive, there is a purpose. And that purpose is God's purpose.
Keep moving, keep marching on.
Marvin Okaka was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy at an early age, and his parents, with the hope of getting a cure, traveled to India if only to save their son's life. Here is the story.
I remember it was around April, and I had gone to work, and then my wife called me and told me the labor pains had started. I stopped everything and drove home, took her to hospital. And then next day in the morning, she called me telling me, when are you coming to see your son? It was really a joy to me. It was excitement. It was something, a day that any parent cannot easily forget. In African culture, we name children after our parents. So we decided we call him Marvin. When Marvin was born, he was a normal boy. He grew up well. He even walked at a normal stage of walking. But by the time he reached 7 years, we felt like he withdrew from the rest. He was not playing much as usual. He used to spend so much time watching TV, unlike to other kids. He could go play for a short while and come back. He used to get so angry so fast. You could feel when he's walking, he's like he's more using his toes to walk, because when you used to buy some school shoes, they used to get finished from the front. So we used to wonder. But to us, it was just normal. We thought it is maybe just the way he is. He'll come outgrow it. Until when it reached almost 7.5 towards 8 years, and we felt like he started falling down. That was the alarming part, because he would just walk in the house and one time he's down. You ask him what happened. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. Nothing has tripped him. So that got us a little bit scared. And then at the same age, when you tell him to go up the stairs, he will struggle a lot. He'll struggle, he'll have to hold with both hands. That is the point we noticed probably there's something wrong. And then my wife went to Google as usual, and then I think started Googling the signs and symptoms, and he came up with a name, something muscular dystrophy. I got scared, so I left the office at the same time, drove home. I got him watching TV as usual, told him we need to go and see a doctor. So the doctor gave us the sad news. He told us, your son has muscular dystrophy, but he'll need to undergo further tests to know exactly what kind of muscular dystrophy he has. And that is the last news we expected to hear. My wife was not there, she was at work, I was alone with him. So I went home, not really knowing how I reached home, because I found myself at home with the boy. We didn't talk the whole way. He was asking me so many questions. I don't know what I answered him. To him, he was fine. He didn't know what's going on. It really felt like, I don't know, maybe the end of the world. I can't explain how I felt. My wife was crying all the time. I told her, you don't need to cry because our son is still strong and still here. So we started looking for what do we do. We visited 4 doctors, and all of them were saying this condition usually, for me, if you take, the first one said it's not in a bad state, so just wait, we'll start managing it later. The second doctor told me, well, we can start the patient on steroids, and then maybe see what we can do. I mean, there was no really solution because every doctor was giving you what he thinks. To us, we felt like every doctor did not really know what is the way forward. So everybody was just confused. We didn't get any credible what you can say that you can rely on it for the next maybe even 1 year or 2 years, nothing. Well, at that point, I wasn't very sure that I wanted to pursue it, so I continued researching. I looked at other hospitals, but what I picked from out of them that Neurogen was more specialized on that kind of conditions. So I went back to my doctor, we did a test, and most of them came positive. Actually, it was not really to come for treatment. We came because we wanted just to come and see what's going on. It was me and my wife and Marvin. So when we came and we were brought to Neurogen, we were picked from the airport straight away to the hospital. The first person we met was Dr. Nandini, who came to our room and explained to us everything, explained to us the expectation of what we expect, explained to us what they've done before and for how long they've been doing this, and the number of patients they've done on that. And that really changed everything. It gave us a lot of hope. Really, we saw like this light. It's not really all gloomy the way we expected. I think that was the first night we really slept well with my wife. His concentration, before it wasn't very good. He had a drastic change in his skin because initially the skin looked to be kind of scaly. Now you can see smoothening. We also noticed that he could go on his knees and try to walk on his knees on his own. The first day we tried it in the hospital, we were to hold him. But now at home, he was able to walk on his knees, crawl comfortably. You tell him go, he goes. You tell him come back, he comes back. Before, he could not even hold to stand on his knees. But now, he could actually, you throw the ball to him when he's on his knees and he could hold it and throw back to you. Those are some of the remarkable, I think, improvement we saw.
This is Muscular Dystrophy Month, and let's pass the message to create awareness. You never know, you could be saving a life.
We have to end here. Take care of yourself until next week. I have been your host, Jacqueline Kemani.
And I am John Murioki. Bye.
Bye.
Unamwangaza at the end of the road, though the walk is tougher, sijafa moyo, natamani sana future, and so I'm on the go. I'm never gonna give up, I got to keep hope alive. Eyes on the prize, lazima nifike, and with God by my side, lazima nishinde. Yeah. Fike, yeah.